Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars, first story up. Actually, this story came out, of course, right after I did my last top of the blogs video, but we still need to talk about it, and it's the fact that Lee Daniels did finally apologize to comedian actress Mo'Nique. Okay, we have heard the story over and over and over and over again from Mo'Nique. She has told everybody and anybody that will listen that she was blackballed by Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry when she was labeled as difficult when she worked on the film Precious. I believe Lee Daniels was the director for that movie. He cast her in that movie. Erica. I was about to say Erykah Badu. Oprah Winfrey. I don't even know where Erica came from, but Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, I believe, were producers in that movie. I know for a fact that Oprah was, and I believe Tyler Perry was as well. But anyway, she was very difficult in the filming and the promotion of the movie during the awards season. She was not agreeable, and she had rubbed the higher-ups the wrong way. And so much so that supposedly they had blackballed her. Now, I did believe it. Because when all that was going on, it was all over. I think I even talked about it in top of the blogs, how she was acting and how behind the scenes they were supposedly reacting. So yes, I do believe that they had blackballed her. We didn't see Mo'Nique for a long, long time after that. And then she resurfaced with a bang and she started telling her story. And she's been in numerous other things as well. You know, she's been in other movies, but nothing on the trajectory that she was going when she won the Oscar for Precious. So right after that happened, it was like a crash halt, and her career just did not go much of anywhere after that. Okay. So yes, I did believe it. She's been in movies and she's been on her comedy, circuit still. And she's been on radio interviews, and she's, like I said, she's told everybody what happened. Now, Tyler Perry did supposedly apologize to her, but not on the record. Didn't do it publicly, did talk to her on the phone and told her that, yeah, you were blackballed. He felt bad for it and he apologized, but he never came out and said that that's what was happening in public. And I'm sure because he did not want to upset not even so much Lee Daniels, but Oprah Winfrey, which is his ace moon coon, you guys know. And when you're trying to become, well, Tyler Perry has definitely arrived, but back then, Tyler Perry was still very much building himself and not needing to piss the likes of a Daniels or a Winfrey off. So he did that off the record. She said that he did that. I don't know if that, I think that helped her realize, or that helped confirm for her that she really was blackballed, that she wasn't imagining things. And then, but we still hadn't heard anything from Lee Daniels or Oprah Winfrey. Now, I've told you guys plenty of times that I didn't think that Oprah Winfrey or Lee Daniels was going to ever come out publicly and say anything about it. But crazier things have happened, you guys. So supposedly 50 Cent was watching something with Mo'Nique. I don't know if it was stand up or whatever, but he was saying how funny she was and how, good of an actress that she was. And he was going to cast her in something. Okay. And he was saying in the blogs, like, y'all better apologize, Oprah and Tyler and Lee, because I'm telling you, when I get finished with her, she's going to be back on top. And, so he was saying those kind of things. So people were wondering if 50 Cent was trying to get them to say something to her. I didn't think that 50 Cent had enough pull, honestly. 50 Cent is very powerful in the industry, I'm sure, but not, he don't really rub elbows with, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry. So that group is not his group. So that was just kind of what we were hearing. Apparently also T.S. Madison had an interview with Mo'Nique. I did not see the interview with Mo'Nique. And I only saw clips of the interview that she had with Lee Daniels, but recently she had an interview with Lee Daniels and she spoke to him. I'm not sure if she interviewed Mo'Nique or she's just close friends with Mo'Nique and has had conversations with her over the years about what has happened and what she would like to see happen in the future. But anyway, in the interview with Lee Daniels, T.S. Madison is talking to him about possibly, mending fences with Mo'Nique. And he says in the interview that one day, they will definitely work together. He knows that. She asked him if he thought that she was right. And he was like, well, I think that she definitely is, believes how she feels. She has a right to believe how she feels. And I have a right to believe, he feels like she felt valid in how she felt. And he feels valid in how he feels about the entire situation back then. But T.S. Madison was saying how great of an actress he was like, listen, no bitch does it better. Okay, that bitch, he was, he reminded me of a friend of mine. But anyway, he gave her props. And, I guess over the years, he just probably has realized that holding grudges for things, it's just, it takes more out of you to stay mad at somebody than to just kind of finally get over it. Last week, a video came out. He was on stage with Mo'Nique. She was crying and he was apologizing to her for whatever it was that he did to her to make her so upset. He says that he is going to work with her again. Apparently, she is going to be in a Netflix movie that Lee Daniels will be producing. They originally had the role was supposed to go to Octavia. What's her last name? Octavia Spencer. Octavia. I can't think of her last name. I think that's Spencer. He's now given that role to Mo'Nique, and they're now building back the very damaged, if not completely destroyed friendship that was, from 13 years ago. And you know what? Mo'Nique seemed like she was happy. She was crying. She kind of looked like a load off of her shoulders just happened right then when he apologized. And you guys, as much as we've said whatever we've said about Mo'Nique over the years, listen, if Mo'Nique feels like she needed to hear that apology, then I'm happy for her. If that was something that could take whatever that load was off of her, and she needed to hear the words, then, a lot of people are saying like, it's not enough. And he did this, that, and the other to her. And yes, it's very true. He probably has behind the scenes kept her from making her money and doing a lot of things. But you know what? You can't go back in time and you can't change anything. I mean, you can only go forward. The fact that he is going to work with her again and, put her in a role and hopefully, she can kind of pick up where she left off. That's just going to have to do. I'm sorry and let me put you to work is going to have to do, because he can't go back and undo what has happened, and I'm sure it's still something that she's going to have to work through. Like I said, Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey still haven't apologized. Now, when Oprah ever sit down with, I'm going to be really shocked if Oprah does that. Something just tells me that Oprah just is not going to do that. But like I said, crazier things have happened. I would really like to see Oprah do it, but the dynamics is different with Oprah and Mo'Nique. Two black women, two very strong black women in their own rights. It's a lot of other variables in there that I just wonder if Oprah's even gonna want to have to deal with. It would be great if she did, though, because even with the way that Mo'Nique was back then, she didn't deserve to lose her livelihood. Okay, she didn't deserve to not be able to act and do those things. But it is Hollywood, and those things happen. So she's a living example of somebody that has been blackballed and, lived to see the day to tell everybody. And then maybe those people that actually did that to her would apologize. So, yeah, it's nice to see the full circle moment. Okay. I think it will really be a complete full circle when Mo'Nique is back, you know, to acting, and, you know, people are starting to realize the talent that was, I won't say wasted, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, we didn't see it. And in reverse, not in reverse, but you guys know what I'm talking about. On Mo'Nique's end, hopefully this experience has also kind of made her realize that maybe she was a little bit difficult. Maybe there were some things that she could do differently. It's never anybody's full, complete fault, you know? So sometimes we have things that we could have handled better, and the other party has things that they could have handled better. But it was a lot of very strong people against this one woman. So definitely she was in the minority there. She didn't have the power, and you know, so they did do it to her. So good for them. I'm glad to see that they were able to work it out. Also in that same interview with T.S. Madison, I just wanted to say another part where they're talking about Jussie Smollett. And T.S. Madison asked him if he, you know, if he felt bad. And he said that he actually was mad when it happened. He was just very upset that Jussie did that. But he said that Jussie, you know, believes that he didn't do it. It was crazy the way he was worded it. But he was like, he believes that he didn't do it. So Lee Daniels has to believe that as well, because, you know, when he looks at Jussie, he sees the kid that he hired to put on his hit show Empire. You know, that's the Jussie that he has in mind, not this Jussie that's up here plotting and scheming with two random Africans and acting like he was robbed on the coldest day on record in Chicago during the vortex, child. And so he was just like, you know, I just have to believe it. You know, I have to believe it. And then he was just like, it's just too much. It's just too much to talk about. I feel like deep down, Lee Daniels still feels that Jussie was not telling the truth, but he also doesn't want to just be out there just saying, you know, he just would probably be happy if the whole thing would go by, because the Empire's not on anymore. There's no reason why he needs to talk about Jussie any longer. But it was interesting to hear him say that he has to believe him because that's what he told him. And as a friend and, you know, as somebody that's worked with him, then that's the stance that he's going to choose to take. Okay, so yeah, do with that what you will. But I actually would like to see that interview with T.S. Madison. She has a show on Fox Soul, I believe, and yeah, it would be interesting to see. Did T.S. Madison, did she actually interview Mo'Nique, or did she just have conversations? And T.S. Madison definitely made sure that she told everybody that no, it was not 50 Cent who put them two back into, you know, into contact with each other, that it was really her doing. And really it doesn't matter who did it, because the bottom line is we've got Lee Daniels and Mo'Nique to be back talking and working together. So yeah, you guys. But TS was like, no, baby, that's me that did it, not 50. But anyway, what do you guys think about it? Do you think it's great that Mo'Nique and Lee have been able to get to this spot in their lives? Or do you still feel a little, you know, little side eye for Lee, a little side eye for Mo'Nique? You know, let me know what you guys think about that. All right, you guys, next story. Let's talk about Riley's idiotic, fat tongue ass father. No wonder they call that nigga Block. He obviously has a block in his head in place of where a brain would be. First of all, just to hear him talk really just kind of grates on my nerves. It's just sort of like somebody scratching a chalkboard, because I don't know how anybody can sound so dumb. And every single time that we have seen Block, because we've seen him on Real Housewives of Atlanta as well, he's so tiring, you guys. He's so tiresome. And he comes off as a hater. And the whole thing is you're a hater against your own daughter. Okay, and this is not even a grown daughter. This is a daughter that he has been acting this way with since we kind of knew about him around 11, 12. Was that around the years when she was around the ages when they were bringing him on the show and they were trying to get their relationship together? I mean, he has been stupid since then. And child, it's just gotten worse and worser. Shout out to Future. Oh, we'll talk about him later too. But it's gotten worser and worser because over the years, he just says more asinine things. So he was on Vlad TV. what I wish he would do is just grow up. I wish that he would, even if he has whatever personal feelings that he has, I'm sure there's been a whole lot of other drama behind the scenes that we are not privy to. But what I wish that he would do is just, when somebody asks him about, it's obvious that he's the dad to Riley. Kandi, of course, being this celebrity now, and Kandi fully in her bag with all of her businesses and her TV shows and all of the things that she's doing. He would just do best to just say, that's my daughter. We still have some things to work on. You know, don't necessarily get along too much with the mother, and just kind of leave it at that. But he always has to, he always has to kind of explain. And when he explains is when the shit just falls apart. So recently he's on record and he's saying like, yeah, Riley and him, there's some jealousy, because he's raised all of his kids in one home. Riley is the only one that wasn't raised, in the home with him, and people have been in her ear, and she just has her issues with him, but it's only because, and when he says people been in her ear, he's obviously talking about Mama Joyce and Kandi, mostly Kandi, okay? But he's like saying that they've been in her ear, and now she's gotten, feels a certain way about him. And I was just like, have you forgotten all of the other reasons why she might feel the way that she feels? The fact that you have not been there. She reached out to you on the show. She wanted to have a relationship with you when you was really trying to like be difficult back when she was like 11 and 12 years old. The whole talk about this child support. He doesn't understand why he's been put on child support when Kandi is a millionaire and does very well for herself. And you guys had to explain this to me, because I have never had to deal with child support and baby mamas and daddies and all of that shit. But the money that when Kandi put him on child support, is because Riley, that is money that is rightfully owed to Riley. Okay. Kandi does her part. There's no reason why he shouldn't do his part either. So yes, even though I make my money, that's my money. Okay, you make your money as a half of this parental duo. That means that you need to put in your fucking money to take care of this child as well. Okay, and he felt a certain way about, like, how you gonna put me on child support and you got more money than me, nigga? That's And so he's just kind of making it seem like Kandi is out there being greedy, for one, that Kandi is possibly going to keep the money for herself. It's just sort of like, I don't even know how much he owes, but Kandi don't need that money. I'm sure she don't need the money, okay? But like Kandi said, Riley is in college. She goes to NYU, which is not a cheap school by any means, okay? I have a few friends that have kids that go there, and that shit is expensive, okay? Riley could use this money, and I'm sure, I have no doubt that Kandi wouldn't give that money to her, okay? But yeah, it's just listening to him talk, I was just like, he's just sounds a little challenged a little bit, and I know if it's frustrating for me, it has got to be beyond frustrating for Kandi and Riley, especially Riley, and he picks at Riley and Kandi, and he says the things, and then Kandi, I'm sure that she gets mad and she wants to speak out. She's probably good that she has Todd there, because I think Todd probably talks her off the ledge, because it don't even really matter now. Let the courts handle it if that's what they're doing. But Riley did respond and just say, it's very disheartening that every time we get, to a certain point, you're on internet and you're bad mouthing me and my mother. She said her mother provided her with the best life that she could. And the fact that he continues to do this, she just wishes that he would not talk about them any longer. Just leave us alone, okay? Yes, you got your salty feelings about the damn money, but you know what? Let the courts handle it. And he just continues. Every single time he talks about it, I just be like, oh my God. What is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? But he has been like that, very exasperating since he's been on Real Housewives. And it just goes to show that, people don't change. He is the same from then till now. He'll be gone for a few months. We might not see him for a year, 2-3 years, but you rest assured that that motherfucker gonna rear his ugly face again and get to playing in our goddamn faces about the shit with Riley and Candy. He do it all the time, you guys. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Somebody do Block. We don't need to see Block no more. All right, you guys, next story at the Grammys. The Grammys came on last Sunday, and I enjoyed them, which was really not normally what it is for me. The Grammys are usually very boring, and usually I don't really know many of the artists. But this time around, I actually did know the artists, and I knew the songs, and I mean, I was familiar anyway, and I was just like, okay, I thought this was actually a very well done Grammy simulcast. Okay, we had Trevor Noah as the host, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed them, you guys. Let me tell you kind of my standout moments. Congratulations, of course, to Jasmine Sullivan, who won her very first Grammy, and I think she won 2 or 3 that night. We know that Jasmine Sullivan has been nominated. How many times did they say, you guys? It's been over 10 times. I feel like it's been over 10 times, and never won the Grammy. Has lost out to people that we've had conversation about, you know, this whole R&B kind of, you know, singer situation, that she continues to get lost in the sauce, because there are other artists that, you know, kind of get a little fluid in these different genres. And so, yeah. But finally, for her album Hotels, she did receive a few Grammys. So good for her. And I thought she looked beautiful. I love the suit with, you know, the Art Deco, very vibrant designs on the suit, and her hair. She looked great. So I was happy for her. Also happy for Silk Sonic. You guys know I love Silk Sonic, and they are so funny to me. They have like the same type of humor that I can just always appreciate. They are 100% very committed to this whole 70s look and sound. Okay, Anderson .Paak with his damn mushroom wig that was flowing so nicely, and he kept on like kind of snapping his hair around and everything. And Bruno Mars, who is just the epitome of just cool all the time. So this 70s, the whole 70s essence is perfect for Bruno Mars, because he just kind of looks like he always needs to have a cigarette in his hand, and, you know, some kind of smoking jacket on or whatever. Love them. Love their album. Like Anderson .Paak said in the thank you speech, you know, when he said that they're trying really hard to remain humble, but in the industry, they call that a clean sweep. So I'm imagining that all of the places that they were nominated, they won. And they deserve so, because 2 very talented people that got together. I mean, it was genius for them to put this group together. Do you guys realize how much I like Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars? Love them both to death. So was glad to see them win. Lil Nas X. Now let's talk about Lil Nas X. Now you guys be all over me, because the minute that I say he gets on my nerves, everybody wants to say, oh, you just, the fact that he's gay. It's never been about whether Lil Nas X is gay or straight. I always have problems with people who want to tell us that they're talented, but they rely on stunts and shows to shock and awe people instead of just giving us the talent. So, you know, when we get to talking about Lil Nas X, it's usually because something has come out, some sort of video, or he said something on social media or something, and we're discussing that. So people's feelings and emotions are really heightened at the time. So people don't always want to see when I say, yeah, he's just stunts and shows, you know, it's, oh, he can't be himself, and he's, you know, everybody got a problem with the LGBT. I mean, I would hope that you guys have been watching me long enough to realize that I don't have a problem with the LGBTQ community. There's times when I don't understand, and I ask you guys to. And I have a lot of rock stars that I can call like friends that are gay, okay? So, you know, I just want friends through YouTube, you guys. So I just want people to realize that I don't have a problem with him being gay or not. That's never been the thing. I just felt like he was just always some shit. You know, the reason why everybody knew him is because of all of the shit that he would do that had nothing to do with music. Well, you guys, the Grammys proved to me that the boy is talented. I was sitting there. I almost feel like that was the best performance of the night. I know that it might not be because I just don't remember all of the things that happened in the night, but he had definitely had one of the best performances that night. It was very well choreographed. Okay, he sounded very good. He looked good. He's a good looking kid anyway. All right, but I finally was able to see that, yes, he's, you know, I got what you're looking for. Y'all, that should be jamming. You know, he did quite a few songs. He did Call Me What You Want, Call Me What You Need. It was very, very good. And it was finally when I felt like, okay, now this is what I'm talking about. You know, if you're going to be with the stunts and shows, it still at least give us the talent too. So it opened my eyes. I was just like, okay, I am feeling this. I'm feeling it. I had a great time with Lil Nas X. I thought he was one of the best of the night. Hers performance was good. You know, it's always funny to see her when she first starts singing and she don't have an instrument, or if she ain't in front of a piano, a guitar, some drums or something, she looks out of place. Okay, because she kind of don't look like she know what to do with her hands. But once she gets some instruments in her hands, that girl is she's a phenomenon. Okay, just just amazing what she can do. When she was playing the guitar, it's so funny. I always wish that I could have seen her work with Prince. Like, it's just always just something that I think about when I see her. I always wish, because she even has a lot of his ways. You can tell that he is influential in the way that she has, you know, gotten her own self together. I'm sorry, I got distracted a minute, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So I really did enjoy her performance as well. We saw her perform with Lenny Kravitz and Travis Barker. Travis Barker must be the it man drummer now, because I've seen him playing drums for every damn body now. But yeah, I enjoyed their performance. I love the in memoriam that we saw with Cynthia Enrivio. I never say her last name correct, but her, Lamar, I was about to say Lamar Odom. It is Lamar, no, Odom. You guys know who I'm talking about. The singer, the one who's also in the plays and all from Broadway. Him, the girl from West Side Story, the one that they tried to not let go to the Oscars, the young girl, and then the other gentleman that sang. Oh, it was beautiful. They sang an arrangement of, I can't even remember what the arrangement was, but it was beautiful. Very well put together, and just, I enjoyed it. Who else performed that I can think of? What also kind of sticks out in my mind was Doja Cat. She is hilarious to me. You know, she's got her problematic ways and things that have been said and she's done and kind of made people feel the way that they feel about her. Like, she's funny to me. So when she came running in after her and SZA won for, what is it? Can you kiss it, girl? Oh. I didn't have no idea that SZA was in that song. No idea. Okay, that's a song that I just hear when I'm like at the mall. I go to the Gap or something, they be playing it on the thing. But honey, SZA was wearing that dress, wasn't she? And you guys tell me that SZA used to lie a lot and nobody believed that, you know, she broke her ankle, or that, you know, people was thinking she was wearing the crutches for attention. I was like, nah, that's a whole lot to be doing for some attention. Y'all leave SZA alone. And I think she proved on her Instagram later on that, yes, her ankle was fucked up and it wasn't nothing for her. But when Doja Cat came running in there, she had went to the bathroom. They actually have a video that shows when she's like in the lobby trying to run back out there, and the security's like, get out the way. And they're like running her back out there so she can hurry up and get on the stage. That shit was so fucking funny. Only Doja Cat. Yeah, that's pretty much the standout moments. I mean, there are other times, I'm sure, but Yeah, Trevor Noah did a great job. I think that he's funny and witty, and he knows how to work the audience and the crowd. I mean, he's a great talk show host, so he'd be good at this as well. So yeah, you guys tell me whatever I might have missed, because I didn't write any notes on it because I had no intentions of doing the Grammy reviews. Oh, also, you guys tell me what you thought. In general, I thought everybody looks better for the Grammys than the Oscars, because the Grammys, you can give an edge to your look. You know, the Oscars, you tend to kind of stay traditional, you know, not take too many chances or risks. But with the Grammys, because this is music and it's rock and roll, you know, so yeah, that's why I usually like the clothes for the Grammys better. Can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Like I said, I didn't write any notes, but you guys give me your good, bad, and ugly for them from them Grammys. What did you guys think? All right, you guys, and speaking of Travis Barker, just real quick on the Kardashians. Child, I try to retire them every week. But this is not really Kardashians. This is more so just Kourtney and Travis Barker. So there were all these reports that while they were in Vegas for the Grammys, that Kourtney and Travis Barker, you know, they're engaged now. Well, that they supposedly had gone to the chapel where there's an Elvis Presley lookalike as the minister, and that they were married. Okay, the story first came out and said that they had a marriage license and that they came there with their own photographer. They wouldn't allow the photographer there to take any pictures, but you know, that they were going to have another ceremony or numerous other ceremonies celebrating, but yes, that they were married. Then, and I think almost that, I don't want to say that was TMZ that put that story out, which was like shocking when we found out, no, that was not true. That yes, they did go to this chapel and they thought it would be fun to act like they was getting married. Did not have any damn marriage license, so this doesn't even count. Okay, it was just something fun and cute to do. I guess they probably took their little pictures from their phones or whatever, and then I'm sure that they realized that the paparazzi at some point was watching them, you know, so this will give them something, you know, to talk about, even though we really aren't married. But let's let them think that we are for a little while, you know. So yeah, you guys can all calm down, because Travis and Kourtney are not married, and I'm assuming that Kris Jenner will make sure that her daughter and Travis has a spectacular, huge wedding, and it'll be all over the blogs, and you know, we'll see it properly like that, you know. But Kourtney has enough fuck you for her family in her to kind of do something like that. So a little bit of me kind of thought maybe it was true. But then after I thought about it, I was like, no. You know, but good for them. Good for them that those two have stuck it out. Kourtney really seems to really like him. Or I should say love him, I would hope. Okay, and he seems to really love her as well. I know Scott Disick is still kicking himself for letting the good one go. But Scott has his demons that he still needs to work on, and Kourtney told him that you can't stop with the drugs and the drinking, and we can't be together. So she stuck around a long time, had 3 kids for him, and she wasn't even with him for a couple of them kids. So, you know, but yeah, you guys, y'all all can get your panties out of a bunch. Those two are not married. Oh, and just real quick, I said I wasn't gonna talk about this. It's not about Kanye, but this whole thing with Pete meeting Kim Kardashian's kids and how it was such a big deal. What is the big deal, you guys? That's her boyfriend, okay? Her very young boyfriend. Did you guys realize how young he was? She's like 43 or something, and he's she's 42, I think, and he's 20. Did I read he was 29 or some shit like that? I was like, child, you out there robbing the cradle. Y'all know I ain't never been to younger men, but I just was like, why are you guys, first of all, they put that story out because they're hoping to like goad Kanye out of not hiding, but Kanye said that he was going to go and get some help. That's what we have been wanting him to do. But then we find out on the blogs that they put this video of him driving around on Scott Disick's property in the golf cart, and North is there with him. And I just was like, and somebody said that she was sitting on his lap. I don't know. Now that might be a little, you know, Not saying that he is ever trying to do anything to North and everything, but you have to be conscious of appearances when, you know, you have a little girl that is not your own sitting on your lap. Like, it's just, that's the world that we live in today. So if that's true, then, you know, I'm gonna need you guys to not do that probably. Okay. But other than that, it's just sort of like, why wouldn't he not know these kids? Okay. She gonna hide the man away forever? Sneak the nigga in after 10 o'clock, everybody go to sleep, and, you know, bring him into the bedroom. First of all, North ain't never sleep. That girl is woke all the time. That child is good enough to get on live and show her mom and Pete somewhere. So yeah, no, we can't do that. Let's let the family meet the man. And I'm sure them kids had already met him. So yeah, y'all. Anyway, I just had to talk about that. Moving on along.